On a girl, a guy, and a movie. Many of you have movies that you've shown your friends, and you have movies that you've saved physical media to show your children, your nieces, your nephews. And today we broke Janet with the movie The Princess Bride.
Mhm.
She had never seen it before, and it was on the list. There's a very big list, bigger list than what Janet has, the 4 pages of movies I want to watch.
Mhm.
But this movie is a absolute favorite among generations. There's a sad reason why we're doing this movie today and not later. But I wanted to focus on all of the good, all of the happy things this movie means to me and others. And I guess first I should introduce my co host, Janet from Another Planet. Janet, how are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for giving me the gift to get to see this movie. It was 10,000 times better than I was expecting it to be.
I'm not certain as to why you might have thought this movie would have been bad. This
Well,
this
I'm just saying, I don't know why I didn't go see it. I mean, there had to have been something other movies that came out that I
oh,
wanted to spend
oh.
my money on.
You
So,
weren't in the circles that enjoyed characters with depth.
Okay, well here's the
no,
movies
no,
that came
I
out.
enjoyed a lot of good movies. Just saying, I didn't have a lot of money.
The Princess Bride came out in September 25th of 1987, and by the start of October, they were having new ads for it. Good Morning America had Billy Crystal on, and
Oh,
he,
these were all the movies that you're showing?
yeah, these are all the movies of '87
Yeah,
that
I saw a bunch
smashed the
of
box
movies
office.
at the box office, so I could
Beverly Hills Cop
probably.
dominated that year. Just before The Princess Bride came out, the Fatal Attraction movie was in theaters, and people were going back to see that because everyone wanted to see Michael Douglas get get out of that horrible relationship. Brother, I feel your pain. Uh, then you have also in the late summer, Dirty Dancing is in theaters.
Yeah,
That
I
was
didn't
number
see that.
12. Okay.
Mhm.
Uh, then a week later, Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah, I went
And
for that.
yeah, so you have these movies that are in theaters at the same time as this film. Okay.
Hmm.
And that's why it kind of got swept under the rug. But people were talking about it. It's a Rob Reiner film. It's a Rob Reiner film. Had we not had, if we never had Steven Spielberg smash the box office with Jaws, I'm telling you, Rob Reiner would probably be one of the top three directors of his era. He really, he really just is one of the most talented guys to get behind a camera to help do edits, to help with script editing. The guy had primetime Emmys, a Hugo, Academy Award, BAFTAs. He had Golden Globes, and he was received the Chaplin Gala tribute at the film at Lincoln Center in 2014. Three of his own movies have been inducted into the National Film Registry. So, I mean, the guy shot up like a rock star in the '70s, playing Meathead from '71 to '79 on All the Family, and then after that, he started doing these films with This Is Spinal Tap, Into the Sure Thing. Then he,
I never saw that movie.
neither did I, but I did see Stand by Me,
I
and
saw.
I've seen The Princess Bride numerous times. Not as much as my two benefactors have. He directed When Harry Met Sally. He directed Misery. He did A Few Good Men.
Loved Misery.
Misery's great. I
Hmm.
mean,
I thought I gave you that one too to go on the list.
that's on the list. Trust me.
Thriller.
He did the political romance, The American President, and
Saw that.
he was so big in Hollywood during the '80s and early '90s that he was just literally he was batting 1,000.
Well, he had a good eye. Apparently, from what I can tell from his repertoire, he had a good eye when he read a script that it was going to be good if he had the right people in it and the right locations and things like that, that it was going to be a good film, because he had his hand in a lot of films that were just really well received by, in all different genres. So it wasn't like he just picked action or he just picked romance or comedy, things like that.
The guy was talented.
A lot of movies because he has a good eye on what he feels when he's looking at the camera, what is going to appeal to other people out here, and he was excellent at it. And not very many people can do that.
Not many people are that talented where they can eyeball something or someone and be like, "This is going to be a hit. This is a hit. This is a hit." And he was good. He did movies all the way up to When Harry Met Sally. That's kind of when his mainstream love affair ended.
Mm-hmm.
He started doing smaller projects, and it wasn't intended to be smaller projects. He just didn't hit as hard. But he did so well up until that point.
Well, what was going on in his life after When Harry Met Sally? Was he starting to have children? Was kids getting bigger where he's having to take them to things with his wife? Oh, grandchildren.
He's starting to have grandkids whenever that happens.
A lot of people, they feel like, I've done really well. The money's still coming in from this, from, residuals. And I just want to take some time off and start spending time with my grandchildren because I want to have a relationship with them. So, and because of his heartwarming movies and stuff, it seems like he was very heartwarming when it came to the bonding with his grandchildren.
Yeah, and I can't say enough about the movies he did. Everybody that watched his initial run in the 80s up to the mid 90s, everything was a hit. The guy just couldn't stop batting 1,000. After that, they kind of tapered off a little bit. I remember The American President didn't get a whole lot of love, but it still was recognized. People were still going to talk about it and saying, "Oh, this was pretty interesting," And after that, he kind of did more family-oriented stuff, and then he started getting into a side which I don't want to talk about a whole lot because he was very political, but he was at least getting recognized for the good things he was making, and he did make a lot of good things up until. And he was still doing small films and stuff. He married Penny Marshall in 1971, and then he married a photographer after that. Go ahead.
Was she a comedian?
Penny Marshall. She was an actress. She was an actress at the time, and then she was a director. Penny Marshall did some other things after that, but in the mid 90s, he married a lady that was a photographer named Michelle Singer. And then, after the 90s, he was kind of still doing stuff here and there. But, it just, he had a son named Nick, and it was he was a bad seed. I don't know what else to say. I mean, the guy, he needed help. He never quite got it the way he needed it. And that's the sad part about it all.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, with that still being said, I'm saying this movie here, The Princess Bride, this is the perfect film. This is really one of the most perfect movies you'll ever find, especially for adventure comedy romance.
Mm-hmm.
This film just knocks it out of the park. And it's so amazing that it's existed since 1987, and you've been on this earth as an adult in 1987. And you were well, not as an adult. You're an older teen, but you kind of have been going along doing things, and you didn't watch it. You didn't know about this movie. This movie was existing just fine without Janet watching it. And then one day, Janet, we discovered during game you hadn't watched it yet. Chris about had he about had a real issue.
Well, the thing is that, I had a life, and like I said, I spent my money to go see more action kind of movies.
87 was a great movie for films.
I went to Lethal Weapon, and I think, wasn't that one of them?
Nope.
No, what was
Predator.
the other one? Predator.
Predator was in films that year. You
Uh,
had
the Beverly Hills Cop. That's what it was.
Beverly Hills Cop was out in
Saw that.
'87.
Mhm.
Thank you.
With hot chocolate.
So there was a few on that list that I remember actually going to see. Witches of Eastwick. I paid money to go see that.
Oh, that's a good film.
I know we watched it, but I'm just saying, I was one of those people that crunched my money, and I didn't spend a lot of money. And I love seeing movies at the movie theater. It's very hard to enjoy a movie when you don't have the big screen, the popcorn, and I like that. I even went and saw the last movie, the vampire movie, at the movie theater because I really like to go there, even if I'm by myself. I want to.
I like going to the movie theaters. Don't get me wrong, but I really enjoy if I'll watch a movie first on my phone or on my PC, and if I really like it, I'll see if it's showing or if Draft House is going to do the right thing and give us a version of it to where we can view it with a party. Because for a while there, Draft House was allowing people to book a theater and go watch Aliens or The Thing or Blade Runner. This was back during the COVID times.
Mm-hmm.
And for $150, you could have 15 of your friends go in and have social distancing and go enjoy a movie. And as long as it looked like you were eating, you didn't have to have your mask on. So you just chewed bubble gum.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't know any better. It was great. I just got to say that this is one of those films that I'm so surprised you've never seen it before. And it's got everything you want. I mean, you've got Kerry Hughes. The guy was like a sensation back in the 80s, and he hit again and again and again. And I mean, even whenever Bard's Tale, the adventure game, came out on PlayStation 2 and Xbox and Windows, they sought Kerry Hughes to play the role of the Bard because he plays such a good, smart, snarky character because he argues with you and the narrator the whole time throughout the game. It's a
He's
very
one of those people that looks good in that kind of costume.
Yeah.
And he can pull it off. I mean, just by standing there dressed in like when he was wearing the Zorro kind of outfit, he looked like he belonged in it.
Yeah,
he moves, the way he walks and things. So not a lot of actors can do that. Manny even did a great job doing it. Because I call him Manny because it was on this show I watched for years and years and years and loved him in Criminal Minds. So it was just, he was just so good, all of them. And the one scene that I really got pissed off was when they were in the forest, the fire forest. Is that what it was called?
The fire swamps.
The fire swamp. When they were in the fire swamp, and you could see that she was fearful of the fire, and I didn't know that her dress had caught on fire, so I could see why it was so believable. It's the part where the rat attacks him, and she just stands there. She doesn't pick up a rock or anything. And this is a woman that was saying she was going to kill herself on the night of the honeymoon or whatever. She's madly in love with this guy, and he's getting chewed up by a rat, and she just goes, just didn't even scream. She just kind of stands there and watches him. I would have been picking up rocks or whatever, trying to help my man that I'm going to be with the rest of my life. I got so mad at her for that. And then she falls into the sand pit, and then he jumps in to save her. And she still doesn't try to help him after he gets attacked again by a big rat. I don't know. That really pissed me off.
It wasn't a rat, though.
It was what was that?
Rodent of unusual size.
Yeah.
Well, it was a giant rat with a long rat tail.
It's a rodent of unusual size, Janet. There's a difference.
He chewing his arm off, and he was screaming, and she stood there and did nothing. Oh, I got so pissed off. I was so angry at her for that.
I don't think she understands the context of this. That was a rodent of unusual size. I mean,
there's a horror factor involved.
Yeah, it's a 5 foot long rat.
The thing is, my lover, the man that I want to spend the rest of my life with and bear his children, is getting killed right in front of me, and I just stand there. That's not going to happen.
I'm gonna have to show. I guess I have to show you something here because there's an illustration that must be made here, and I appreciate you, Janet. I need to show you this rat's teeth, and I believe they have it.
Teeth. they were all snaggly and like turned in and sideways and stuff. They were really gross. And he was huge. I mean, he was as big as a dog, a huge dog. The rat was 3 of them that were in the scene with him. But I still would have tried to help my man. Period. There were rocks and big sticks laying around. I thought she was going to pick up that one stick and try to whack him over the head. And even when he was chewing on her dress and stuff, she just didn't seem fearful, for his life.
Janet, that see that mouth there? See that?
Mm-hmm.
Your arm, your shoulder could fit in that.
Yeah, he was biting his arm off, and she just stood there. You
are not a muscle mommy. You are not a big bulky woman.
Doesn't mean she wouldn't try to defend him. If it was a kid, is she going to stand there and let her kid get eaten by a rat too?
No, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, I've seen people piss themselves when they see swine come out of the bushes, and they're only about 40 or 50 pounds. I pissed myself when I first saw the swine come at me.
Well, I saw a man on the news jump into freezing cold water after that plane crashed into the Potomac for a total stranger when he looked around and he saw all those people in gear just standing there while she's drowning. So he risked his life to save a total stranger. And here's a woman who thought her man was dead for 5 years and cried and didn't want to live. And then she's chosen to be the princess to marry a king, a soon-to-be king. And then her man appears out of nowhere and he saves her life. And they roll down a hill together, blah, 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 all the romantic stuff. And then he risks his life to save her, and she just stands around multiple times when he's attacked. And he's bleeding from his shoulder and stuff in his arm. And I don't know. It just pissed me off that she just didn't care enough about him to react. She didn't react to him being attacked. A real true love person, even a woman can try to defend her husband or her man, the person she wants to spend the rest of her life with. It pissed me off. That's the only scene that pissed me off. I was so glad that Manny was able to get revenge against the man that killed his father when he was 11.
Should go into detail on that subject that I told you.
Mm-hmm. What?
Chris just said you should go into detail on that subject.
Which subject? By him being attacked and being sliced while his father dies in front of him?
Yes.
Yeah, and from that, the detail of him having 6 fingers, I'll never forget it. So, and he looked for him the rest of his life because he practiced and he did everything to try to be able to find the man who murdered his father in front of him. And he was able to do that. And I thought that was wonderful. I thought that was great. And he deserved it. He was a scumbag. He was the villain of the movie. He was the evilest one on the movie, I thought. Did you guys think he was?
I hated the guy. I thought he did a wonderful villain job.
But you honestly would want to still marry a woman who didn't lift a finger or try to kick it or try to run and get his sword and hand it to him while he's being something? You want a woman that just stands there and lets you get killed and doesn't even do anything?
I didn't say I wanted that. I'm just saying that she's within her like shock factor because that's a fucking rat that's 50 pounds.
Mm-hmm. But she's already almost died. So in reality, she'd be filled with adrenaline. Okay. And then another thing happens. That's another dose of dopamine. I don't know. That was the hardest scene for me to take because it wasn't a true reaction that a woman who's waited all this time and was depressed and was willing to kill herself before she married this other guy, before she'd be with him as a wife, because the one man that she truly loved is laying on the ground now getting eaten by a rat. And she's just like, it just pissed me off. Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
I'm being honest.
I appreciate it. I feel that Humperdinck was a piece of shit. Throughout the entire film, he was the literal POS.
He was a horrible, horrible person, and he deserved to be shot.
Yeah, this is the first movie I remembered Carrie Hughes when was Bram Stoker's Dracula,
Mm-hmm.
and then in Robin Hood Men in Tights, I thought that was absolutely just a banger of a
Mm-hmm.
film. I was surprised that I liked it as much as I did,
Mm-hmm.
but uh, as time goes on, that movie gets better and better. It really does.
I loved him in Saw.
Say again.
I loved him in the movie Saw. You know, I love horror movies.
I've never not liked that movie. I thought Saw was probably one of the best horror porn movies of all time, just for the fact that I, as a DM, I love running traps.
Yeah.
Traps are fun.
Mm-hmm.
Traps are a way for me to scare the hell out of the players. You
Well,
know?
when I went to Vegas, I went to a couple of the escape rooms, and I did the Saw escape room, and it was like set up with like movie quality, you know, effects and everything, and it was so scary. We barely got out. We had not even a minute left to survive to get out of the last room where the bathtub was at. So it was good. They did a good job. But the thing is, he was a great actor in that movie. I just really like him. I think he's a very good actor. He's very believable, and I just loved him. In this one, he was so romantic, and I don't really go for blondes, you know, really, but his blue eyes are just, you know, breathtaking, and he was so romantic. But in that one scene, it really hurt me for her. That was the one thing that, to me, that took away from the romance part of their romance together. It was a fact that you have a woman that isn't gonna risk her life for you. It just seemed. I just didn't like it.
I think normally she would, but if it was a rodent of unusual size, there's a horror factor involved. It's just like how some people.
I'm telling you right now, I'm petrified of snakes.
Okay.
But
So
if a fall on someone I cared about, which I have seen, they took a rake out and a snake fell on their shoulder, I grabbed it and threw it. And I'm petrified, and I didn't know whether it was poisonous or not. So I'm just saying, and I wasn't married to that person either. So I don't know. Maybe I'm different than other girls then, but that's just the way.
I'm just saying that a rodent of unusual size has a horror factor, and there are people that they naturally will freeze up when they see something of a supernatural or a extraordinary sense, and that's normal. I'm not going to knock Robin's character, Little Buttercup, for not having you know, the capacity to fight back against a giant fucking rodent.
She was really petrified that bad. Why did she move when it was chewing up her dress? She should have just laid there like she was in shock. You know what I mean? Just didn't go together to me.
The teeth are close to the ankle. Got to move. Okay, Wesley's handling it. Okay, he's got this. Go, Wesley. I'm pissing myself. And that would be my mindset the whole time. Like just now, I'm going to tell you that I had a dog laying on my lap, and all of a sudden I hear somebody outside, help. Of course, the husband jumps to action, and Bruce, trying to get the dog off his lap, like I'm 10, 12 seconds behind as you're talking, and I'm thankful that you're talking, so I get out there, and it's a bee sting. It's nothing huge problem, but I get out there like, you need ice? And Chris like, no, go take care of the movie show. I'm like, okay. And I get back over here, and we just keep talking about the discussion where, like, Robin, Little Princess Buttercup, does nothing to save Wesley from the rodent of
I didn't see the script, so I don't know if the script called for her to try to act frozen or whatever. But to me, a natural reaction would be to try to defend the person you see.
That wasn't her character. She wasn't a fighter.
She's not a fighter. She's not even a priest.
That's another thing is, plus, I didn't know that her dress had caught on fire. So she was still in that, I don't know, maybe she was still in that realm because of the look on her face. Like I said, through her eyes, she just looked petrified.
The fire swamps were kind of dangerous. The pyrotechnician was really good at his job. The author did not know what was going to happen. He's there on the day of filming, and he starts like screaming because her dress catches fire, and then he ruins the take.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm just saying that,
you know, because like I said, that's a natural reaction when somebody's about to die in front of you. You do different things. You tend to have a shot of adrenaline, and it causes you to either it's fight or flight, and that's a natural thing. And I just don't feel like, even though she's a pussy, she's used to him getting her horse for her and chopping the wood, and her not having to ever do anything except for have people wait on her. It still doesn't mean you're not going to react when someone you love is being killed right in front of you. I don't know. I was expecting something.
I'm not going to knock on her for it. She got what she wanted by the end of the film, and she leveled up in the motherhood.
He accepts her for her wussiness, and hopefully she never has to do anything for her children later on. I'm just being a bitch. Sorry. She's not
a superhero like you.
I'm not a superhero either. I'm just a woman. I just happen to have a dad that taught me how to, hunt squirrels and stuff like that. And I had 4 sisters that were wimpy, but I don't even think.
Okay. So 4 out of 5 girls would agree that standing there pissing yourself or in shock because a rodent of unusual size attacks your boyfriend. God, I hope a boyfriend gets done with this soon. Well, I hope he doesn't get too badly hurt. He's got the keys to the Buick.
I did write a note. This is the note I wrote. Hold on, let me get to it real quick. I wrote, let's see.
Look for that. Let me say something real quick.
Go ahead.
Could you imagine what would happen in the movie, especially in 82?
86.
86?
Yeah, they're filming in 86, published 87.
If Princess Buttercup in a fucking dress went on Mary Sue and fucking shanked the shit out of the ROUS and then looked at Wesley like, what the fuck?
Hold on.
Completely emasculating him, ruining the fucking movie.
No, I'm going to tell you that I like your train of thought, but the year before, audiences flocked to theaters to watch Ellen Ripley kill aliens and say, "Get away from her, you bitch!"
And that was Ripley, and that worked.
Yes,
no,
that worked.
No,
he picked up the sword and threw it to him so he could reach it. Because remember, it was out of reach. Every time he tried to reach, it was just out of his reach.
Yep.
That wouldn't have made him not manly. It would have meant that she loved him and she tried to help him. That's all I'm saying. I just would have liked to have seen something like that.
I think we're stuttering over a small detail in the book that I think.
But what I said was, I hope that I said the rat costumes were so cool, and that Princess Buttercup better be damn good in bed after almost letting him die. That's what I wrote as a note because it pissed me off.
I hope she is too. That's Robin Wright, and I had a crush on her after the film. Yeah, I between Robin Wright and Jennifer Connelly in the 80s, as a boy in the 1990s, I was a very happy man. That's all I can say. This is the best young Fred Savage film. Little Monsters is The Wizard's a Nintendo commercial. Yeah, absolutely, Josh. I wasn't really a big Fred Savage guy. I did like the Wonder Years, but I was disappointed that the script writers completely cucked out in the final episode of it. The way the Wonder Years was supposed to be was the final episode, his dad has a heart attack. And I'm pretty certain they didn't do that because that's the episode where Fred levels his boy up to man because he's got to be the man of the family now. But they completely did not do that. At least to my knowledge, they didn't do that. The shit we got was meh at best.
Well, yeah, they did that for Big Bang Theory and Young Sheldon.
Yeah, but we were deprived that because I never did like Sheldon. He achieved his goal. He made a completely unlikable character. I like that. Not
completely.
Not completely. He had some good quips, but I just didn't like Sheldon that much.
He grew as a character, which is the goal.
I think the young Sheldon is actually a lot more enjoyable than watching Big Bang Theory. Anyway, this movie hits on a lot of notes. We got a lot of people in chat. Thank you guys for showing up today. There was a Stephen King film, Graveyard Shift, and that movie had a rodent of unusual size in it too. Yeah. They don't. At least they don't pull a James Hetfield and get toasted by pyrotechnics. Still sketchy about being that close to the flame. Yeah, poor Kirk Hammett. He got doused in flames in the 1992 or 91 tour with Guns N' Roses, and GNR would not get on stage because Metallica had a medical emergency.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much there, Lloyd Christmas. All right. He ran pyro for Michael Jackson commercial. I don't know Sven Filka, but good reference there.
Did you know in 2017 there was a Rodents of Unusual Size movie or documentary?
What?
It's documentary.
Okay, off to IMDb. Janet, what I've just been made aware of is that there was a Rodents of Unusual Size documentary
No,
in
I
2017.
hadn't seen it.
Well, no, neither have I.
But you were right when you told me that once I saw the movie that a lot of the memes and different innuendos that I've heard you guys use during games and other people use on different platforms, all of them made sense now because I saw a lot of things instantly pop in my head when the scene happened, and now I can understand why. Just like the little light that went off when you got to finally see that movie with Robert Redford.
Has nothing to do with the movie.
I know. Yes, with the meme of Robert Redford nodding his head. Yeah.
Yes, and so that's what happened to me. I started seeing the little memes popping up when I saw it in the movie, but it was so good. I loved the way it moved forward and stopped while he was talking to his grandson. So it took you back to, oh yeah, this is a story he's reading to his grandson. I loved it. I thought the way that the story was told was just wonderful. I loved it. And this is definitely a movie that I'm going to want to watch a couple of times and share with other people, because just like I said, this is a great one to have everybody show up and dress up in costume and bring each bring a dish or whatever and have like a buffet and drink and the movie and enjoy it. This is a perfect movie for that.
Well, I think of all the films we've watched here in the last probably 3 months, this one here is probably going to get my highest rating, because this is a movie that has a lot of things going in its favor. Definitely, time has worked its magic itself. But as far as classics are concerned, I don't know of another adventure romance comedy film that does things so well repeatedly. And this movie just nails it. It satisfies that itch. Finding out that Chris and Amanda had some references during their ceremony for being wed, that makes me even smile harder, because it makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of just the casting choices. You got Billy Crystal, you got Mandy Patinkin, you got Andre the Giant as the Mercenaries 3 at the start of the film, and as time goes on, they they have their situation. Mind you, Andre the Giant. Let's take a look at this real quick. Some of you don't know
one scene where he says, remind him, and then he just went, Bob hit him on the head, and the guy knocked him unconscious, outside the tree. That one part, I just laughed and laughed because it was so funny. Because in real life, I could see how that would happen when you have someone who's so huge. Like, that's one thing my dad tried to explain to me the first time I read a Superman comic. When he was trying to explain to me, I said, how could he not hurt everyone? Like when he picked up an egg to crack it, and things like that. My dad tried to explain to me, he said, well, he'd have to learn to be gentle with people compared to what he would have on his own planet, because on his own planet, he wasn't super strong. See, it was only because he was on Earth that made him that way. So my dad tried to explain to me. So that's why you would think about when you see someone that's of this enormous size, like a living giant, basically, because they would have to, through their life, grow up as they got bigger and bigger to be gentle with picking up like a baby kitten or a puppy or even a small infant, because they don't realize the strength they have just in their hands and their fingers. I just loved that. I just thought it was so funny and realistic, and and sad, because it would hurt people, but I still thought it was funny. His massiveness of his ginormous hand when he put it on their heads and stuff. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. For those of you that are on the East Coast, Prism used to play this movie about every week or every 10 day, and it's played so often on a lot of syndicated networks that you just kind of get used to it. And like Amanda said earlier, this is one of those films that if you're flipping through channels, if you still flip through channels, you'll be doing things and see it, and there's a 99% chance you stop and watch. I thought it was really impressive. The fact that you can watch this movie and then immediately turn around and watch it a second time, it's one of the few movies I've done that with. I had to show my mom. It's definitely one of those movies you watch with your mother. Oh, also, for those of you wondering, this is Andre the Giant's hand. And this was an ad in Sports Illustrated, I want to say 1990, 1991. But look at the girth on that palm there. Gee.
Tell them what size beer that is.
Well, just a 12 ounce. They're just a regular 12-ounce can. So this is crazy. I thought Bruce would be drinking Foster's. Not today, sir. Not today. In real life, Andre the Giant did have a dedicated guy to help him around and chaperone him. I don't know if he had one on set. Andre the Giant still has the, from what I understand, it was either Andre the Giant or Oliver Reed that have the world record for drinking in one sitting. This guy's crazy.
Well, his massiveness. I mean, look how big he is. He has a lot of muscle and fat tissue or whatever to absorb all that alcohol. He could get anybody under the table, you would think.
Mm-hmm. Now, we were talking about it earlier behind the closed doors of the green room. We were talking on Discord about how this movie is a lot like the standard for fantasy films back in the 80s. There was other good fantasy films. There's a lot of bad ones too. But the year before this came out, Labyrinth came out, and that had a bigger budget, like 2 times the budget. This had 16 million, and Labyrinth had 25. That was also a Lucasfilm project, and it had better special effects, but a lot of the money went directly to the special effects team. This movie had a lot of, like, the sets look a lot like they could have filmed it for a TV show, which is okay.
They filmed in England, didn't they?
It's filmed in England, but there's a few sets, like the scene between Dread Pirate Roberts and Mandy Patinkin's character.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
Inigo Montoya. The fight between those two, they look kind of chintzy. I hate to say that, but I mean it does, and it's okay. It works for the film.
I didn't see that.
Okay.
I thought all the swashbuckling fights, even between him, when he finally got to fight the wimp that ran down the hallway, basically screaming like a little kid because he finally realized he's gonna meet his maker, or he has the chance to. At least that's how it felt to me. I love that scene. It was sad to me every time he was bleeding. I was like, oh my God, he's not going to be able to do it. And I started crying. I felt so bad for him. Well, but I wanted to see him kick his ass so bad because he deserved it. And then when he said what he said to him about, oh, you're that dweeby little kid or whatever. Oh, I just wanted him to, you know, some bad shit to happen to him.
Well,
That's all I wanted.
Inigo Montoya was getting hacked on and stabbed. He's, repeating his motto. My name is Inigo Montoya.
That gave him the extra courage he needed to be able to finish the deed. Yep. I love that.
In real life, his dad had just died of cancer.
Let me make some corrections on that one.
Go ahead.
So, Mandy Buchanan, his dad passed away of cancer when he was 18. Mm-hmm. Time of filming for this movie, he was 34. But in recent years, there were rumors that he did this, but I guess there's a question from a TikToker that wanted to kind of confirm it because she's kind of dealing with the same stuff in her life. Mm-hmm. The passion that he put into Inigo Montoya to hunt down Count Rugen, he pictured Count Rugen as the cancer stealing his dad. Mm-hmm. So if you go through that movie again, which you probably will, maybe in a week, and look at it with that mindset
Mm-hmm.
of what he's actually doing as kind of an actor, that kind of hits me harder than what it looks like in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Especially that last line, "I just want my dad back, you son of a bitch."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I loved it. I thought it was so good. That was one of my favorite scenes in the movie because he had the biggest arc to me to achieve a goal that he's had since he was a child.
Mhm.
I love that. It just, I was crying, but I was crying for him to be the hero for his dad. You know, I loved it. That was great.
And this movie has a hero's story in quite a few locations where it hits that note just perfectly. And I enjoyed watching it. I thought it was interesting once Wesley becomes a man in black, how his entire direction had changed, and then he explains how he was a Dread Pirate Roberts for a little bit. And then at the very end, after Inigo says, "I've been in the revenge business so long, I don't know what I'm going to do." Well, you make a great Dread Pirate Roberts.
Well, honestly, I loved the way he reacted with her when he first got her back. And she didn't know who he was yet because he was still filled with anger when he found out that she was engaged to get married and become a queen, basically. You know what I mean? So he was jealous and he was upset. He was heartbroken because he felt like she promised to wait for him, you know.
Mhm.
And even though she said, "I thought you were dead," he still had a little resentment because of it, because he felt like he went out to try to build something, to make money and wealth to give her, because he knew that she deserved, he felt that she deserved more, that she deserved a nice house and horses and, you know, all the things that she seemed to have had when he was just the stable boy, right? Or the farm boy. And that he was sacrificing for that for her. And if she really loved him, she would have waited. You know, that was how he saw that. Maybe that's one reason why I felt that the scene later when they rolled down the hill, when she realized who he was, when he said, "As you wish," as he's rolling down the mountain, and then she jumps and rolls. I laughed at the whole scene all the way down. I thought that was so romantic. I don't know. I can't explain it, but the whole movie made me feel like, it made me realize how rare true love really is. When you see a couple that's been married 65 years and they're at the nursing home and they're holding hands. Oh, I would love to have that. But, you know, it's one thing I know I'm never going to have. I'm going to be one of those people that's never going to have what a lot of people are so lucky to have. And that's why when I do some of my other stuff, I talk about that if you have someone, try to make a little effort to let them see how much you love them. Even if you just pull over on the side of the road and you pick some flowers, and it doesn't matter that they're not roses, just take them to her and say, "I thought about you all day and I saw these driving home and I just wanted to pick them for you." She's going to probably melt in her hands. I mean, what woman doesn't want romance? It doesn't matter how long you've been married or what little thing that you might do for her. And that's what I saw in this movie. I saw a romantic hero that's all he was trying to do, is just trying to get back to her and give her what he'd earned. You know, like he'd earned all this money, saved up or whatever, his treasures or whatever, being a pirate. And he was going to make the promise to her that he said, "I'm going to go off and I'm going to make money so I can come back and we can be together forever," basically. And then he was heartbroken when he came back and felt like she had dumped him, you know, in a way. And I could see that. I could see why she would be hurt, because I would have been hurt too if I'd been in his shoes. And I'm able to do that. I'm able to step out and look and put myself in his position. And to me, I can understand why he was angry. So when she realized who he was, she wasn't mad at him for speaking to her that way. She rolled down the mountain to get back to him. So that's why I was a little saddened in the next scene where she just kind of goes, I don't know. It ruined it for me. That one
hit a bad spot for Janet. Okay.
I know. But that's okay. I still love the movie and I give it a really good good high rating because it is a classic to me. This is a movie that I'd want to share with people because it has a great story to tell people. The story between the son or the grandson and the grandpa, and then the story of the characters in the movie, the son whose father is murdered in front of him, and he does everything in his lifetime to try to find the man and get revenge for his father. He does that. And then you have a young man who falls in love with a rich girl of the farm that he works on and leaves to try to become a better man that's worthy of her love. And then he comes back and proves that he was, you know what I mean? That type of stuff. So he had all these multiple, and then Andre the Giant, the same thing, a big cuddly man who's huge. And the only thing he has as a family is the people around him, his friends. And he does everything he can to try to keep them safe and help them escape. Like when he come back with the 4 horses and he captures all of them. Puts him on the horse. It was wonderful. I just thought it was such a good fairy tale. It was heartwarming, and it had everything. It had action, it had romance, it had sadness, it had evil. You know, I just loved it. I thought it was great. I'll shut up. I'll let you talk a little bit.
Oh no, you're hitting all the main marks, which is what I want. This there's a very nice. There's actually I don't. Okay. There's a very nice book.
That's a signed copy.
If you like this movie, there's a book called As You Wish, and it's by Carrie Hughes. It is a recollection of the various anecdotes and ways that things happen on set with Rob Reiner and Robin Wright, and he fell in love with Robin Wright. After the first time he saw her, there was a little bit of fireworks.
Did they have a little romance?
They did have a little romance. I don't think it lasted that long, but it was fairly interesting to read some of the stuff that was going on set with those two. And Carrie uses a signature right there for the book As You Wish.
Yeah.
And these two, I mean, they're super fans of the movie. Probably the biggest fans I actually know about it.
It's really, really good. It's a very well-made movie. You can see why they love it.
There is everything in that behind the scenes, from a 30-second fart to a broken foot.
I remember reading about the fart.
That
was hilarious. I copied it. Let me see. Let me find it real quick.
I'm.
Oh, it's in
one of these films that if you haven't seen this movie yet, spend the time, get it. Get some time in front of the screen with this.
Mm-hmm.
I want my father back, you son of a bitch.
Yes.
Yeah, the sword fight in this movie is classic, run by famed Hollywood director that later went and directed all the fight scenes for the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Because this part I have here, it says for their sword fight that they trained for months with Peter Diamond and Bob Anderson, who between them had been in the Olympics, worked on Bond and Lord of the Rings, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Star Wars, coached Errol Flynn, wow, yes. Burt Lancaster, and he said every spare moment on set was spent practicing. And see, I said that you could tell that whoever trained him was a genius at training because they looked like professional sword fighters to me.
They did, and even more importantly,
you got white knuckled watching the two at the when he got stabbed up and stuff. I did, at least, because to me, I didn't know who was going to win, especially since he'd been stabbed multiple times already, and he threw that knife because he's a disgusting pig and he's a cheater. See, because he couldn't have a real fight, between two gentlemen. Like when they come up and they slap each other in the face, he had to cheat, so he had to injure him before he could even fight. See, I loved it, and I love the fact that every time he said that to himself, introducing himself, and then he was going to kill him, it just empowered him more and gave him what he needed, that last, bit of energy, so you could take out the dickhead. I love that. I love that whole scene. It was so good. That was my favorite scene in the movie.
I don't have a favorite scene in this movie. I think probably my favorite scenes in this movie are actually when the Sicilian is trying to outwit Dread Pirate Roberts at the wine drinking contest where
Mhm.
there's iocane
Vicini.
the Vicini. My bad. Whenever he's trying to outwit Dread Pirate Roberts, and Dread Pirate Roberts not really having it. He's got everything ready and prepared. I thought that was my favorite scene in the entire film. For me, that's the entire movie because that script is just so rich between those two men. And Robin Wright is sitting there idly waiting to be rescued or be hauled off as booty for the next challenge for this little mercenary prick. I thought the movie's great. I love this film. For those of you that want to know, I'm going to give this movie a score of a 95. I think this movie is about as perfect as it gets, and there's very little to rip on it. You've already heard my complaint. Maybe just if they would have had a little bit more budget, they would have probably had a little bit better set. The fight scenes, actually probably the second favorite part of it for me. But watching Dread Pirate Roberts and Inigo Montoya go after each other, that right there, I could watch that forever because those two are really talented, and either the stuntman or Mandy Patinkin, it looked like Mandy when he's doing the flips, and it didn't look like he was doing any wire work. I thought that was real. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looked real. And so I just thought the terrain usage in the fight was really good. Kronos, yes.
But when I was
Robin Wright, and she's in the Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah, I looked up that thing about the fart earlier. I saw that, and it was like they said it was like a 15 to 16 seconds long. So it had to be, and everyone in the room just kind of stopped making any noise and just kind of sat there. And after it was done, Rob Reiner said, "Are you all right?" He said, "I am now, boss." It was great.
Yeah.
I was laughing when I was reading that. But yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. The personal stuff behind the scenes, when you get a glimpse of that, you just wish you were a fly on the wall through the whole thing because it's so wonderful. The relationships that when you have a good movie like this and everybody works well and they all want the same goal, they all want a successful, good story at the end. And when you have that, a lot of friendships build up, just like what I was saying when we did The Thing with John Carpenter.
Mhm.
The relationship between him and I went blank. I can't remember his name now.
Kurt Russell.
Yeah, Kurt Russell. It was a bond for life, basically. And a lot of people do that on set. They meet someone, something clicks. They do something wrong, or it's just the opposite, which happens sometimes, not as often, where they just hit it. They just can't stand each other and they hate each other forever after that. So that sucks, but that does happen.
Local Maxine. Definitely that one.
And if you don't recognize this, I'm just going through some bits of trivia here.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, a lot of this comes from
This
IMDb.
one's pretty good. Read that out loud.
During the Miracle Max scene, both Rob Reiner and Carrie Hughes had to be removed from the set for laughing. Billy Crystal's improvising his lines. So they had a dummy of Wesley that Fezzik had been carrying around. That took Carrie Hughes' place on the table while him and Reiner are working with Billy Crystal. So Reiner and Hughes have to go.
Yeah, because he was able to ad-lib.
He's talking about the BLM, the
mullet,
the mutton,
yeah.
mutton, lettuce and tomato is the best. And
yeah, he did that a lot in his movies.
He does that in almost every film he's in, and the guy's just talented. Billy Crystal, I don't know what he's doing now. He's in his 70s, and I really hope that occasionally he just gets on stage and just cuts up for a bit. The guy is just a natural, gifted comedian.
I found this too. It says The Princess Bride is Rob Reiner's favorite book ever, and he had to convince William Goldman to let him make it. Goldman was reluctant to let anybody else work with this story because it was his favorite thing he'd ever written. So it worked out, because I don't think anyone else could have directed the movie with the compassion and bring in this right people, because he had to have a good top at every single department, costume, wardrobe, the set designers, the people who took care of the animals, everything. They all had to have stake in this movie to want it to be successful, for it to have worked so well in so many areas of the movie. And the only thing I can think of is that I even had a problem with was that one scene. Everything else I absolutely loved. I was so moved by almost every single scene, which isn't a big thing for me. I mean, that doesn't happen. You know what I mean? It's very rare. And for my score, I'm going to give it the same score that I gave Tombstone, which is a 10 out of 10. Every single thing that was supposed to happen to get this movie to be successful happened. And it's not just because of Rob Reiner. It was because Rob Reiner and his people brought in all the right people to make it successful. Even if it didn't make it big at the box office because it was so many other movies, that's not what we're judging. We're judging on the quality of this film and the movement it made on people who sat down and watched it. It made emotions flow. It made you root and cheer. And just like I said, I wish I'd seen this at the movie theater, because it's so rare, because it doesn't happen.
Let me tell you what happens when you see this movie at the movie theater.
Okay.
The same fucking thing you're talking about right now happens in 2025 and 2021 and 2022 and 2017. It happens all the fucking time.
I can believe
it never. This movie never fails to hit with an audience. It always, the audiences go to see this movie 40 years after it was in theaters, and they're hungry to take their family and friends to go see it on the big screen for the first time. There are people I've met that have seen this movie on big screen over 50 times.
I can see why.
Crazy good.
It is. It's phenomenal. It's got everything. And anyone that would go see this say, there's no bombs and there's no that, I would just say, well, then you have no taste. That's what I would tell them. Because if you're a movie lover that likes to be entertained and sit through a whole movie and be entertained and not even realize how much time has gone by, this is the movie. Okay, this is one of them. And there's very few of these that I would ever give a 10 that had everyone loved this movie. You could tell every person involved cared about this movie for it to become, even the editor, you know what I mean? All the way down to the editing, the music for the movie, the guy, the location manager. I mean, everyone wanted this movie to be something, to be what they saw in the book. And they did it. This was, a diamond in the rough, I'll put it that way. And that doesn't happen very often when you get this many people, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people it takes to make a movie like this, and to get all of them to work together to make it successful, not for just the money either. And that's a lot of people don't realize. Just like what we saw, the other movie, the swashbuckling one with Gina Davis. Okay, what was it? Guinness Book of World Records for the biggest movie bomb. Well, why was it a bomb? Not because the movie wasn't good. It's because they'd already had it $60 million in debt before it even got to start filming. That had nothing to do with the movie, but everyone involved in making that movie loved it and wanted to see it be successful. And you could tell that's exactly what you saw when I watched this movie. I could see the love from all of these characters, all the people behind the scenes to make us love these characters. That's a lot of work, and that shows true. What would be the word? Damn it!
Wikipedia.
They just wanted it to be.
It's huge. The Wikipedia for this movie is enormous.
Yeah, I bet it is.
There's maybe only
added
40
to.
films that are have a Wikipedia as dedicated and detailed as this one.
No, its own Wikipedia, not just a page on Wikipedia.
No, it's got
it has its own.
Like I said, there's only like 40 other movies that have its own literal site for that. Yes, Wikipedia page is impressive, but the movie's own like Wikipedia or wiki page is fucking huge.
Have you guys ever done this, Chris? You and your wife, Amanda,
What?
done a party and had a people come over just to celebrate this movie?
No, we don't have people come over.
No, they're very private individuals. The fact that I'm over here is crazy.
I'm just saying, you guys would enjoy going to something like that.
Go somewhere, yes. Have people over? No. There's a difference.
Yeah, I would have a party at my home.
Go people.
If I could, now where I'm at, I probably couldn't because I'm out in the middle of nowhere. So
I wouldn't say that they're antisocial, but like they know
we
their
just
tribe.
don't like people.
No, they're just private.
Yeah.
We just don't like
I
people.
understand that.
Oh, you mad?
Yeah, you do. You have each other and your people.
Do I have to say it right now? Do I have to say it?
No, don't say it. Don't say it.
Okay.
Most of this movie is filmed in location in England. The castle was Haddon Castle, or Haddon Hall. It was a fortified country house. It wasn't really a castle as such. It was dated before 1087. Up. I drink from a place that was built in 1044. Ha! It outdates you. Anyway, it was listed in the Domesday Book in 1087. The tapestries here are original, dating to the late medieval and Renaissance periods. Go ahead, Janet.
It was beautiful. The sets were wonderful. It was all very believable. The landscape. Do you know how hard it is to really find anywhere in America that you can go a certain amount of way by looking through a camera lens and not see telephone poles or paved roads and a lot of things like that, or even telephone lines that go to a home. So there's so many things that a location manager has to do just to be able to put it all down and then make sure that the director gets it and goes through it to see whether or not it's the same vision they have, because that's why they have storyboards and all that, to help everyone have the same visuals and understand what the director is wanting. And the director is always right. It doesn't matter whether, it doesn't always work as well, because we've seen a few bad movies with really bad direction.
I mean, last week was a classic.
Yeah.
I mean, Megaforce.
I know, that's what I'm trying to say. But the thing is, a few people were fired up about it, what they thought it was going to be, and then they show up and it's not anything like they expect, but they just do their job and they leave, but they don't have the passion that you saw, or at least I felt. When we watched this movie, I felt passion from the characters for their character that they were portraying, and that's very rare.
Yeah, you don't really have character, actors that they look at a script and like they suddenly want to live this movie. This movie here, it had already been written as a novel in the 70s. People had been talking about it for a while. It finally gets greenlit in the early 80s, and Rob Reiner got attached to it. And next thing we know, this movie just hits on all the notes. It actually makes a lot of money for the time, because at the time, like Labyrinth only made $34 million, and that was a $25 million movie. This movie made $30 million on a $16 million budget. Really good money.
The one scene I forgot to talk about earlier, whereas when she jumps overboard, starts swimming. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That was great. That was a very brave thing for her to do. That's another thing, like I was trying to say. Yeah, she was demure, used to other people doing things. But when she felt she was going to die and her life was threatened, she tried to save herself by jumping overboard, not knowing where they are, or, if a shark would eat her or whatever. And then you see all the eel things swimming around. And that one eel, what a puppet or whatever they use, to me was scared the shit out of me. That was so scary, and that was a very scary scene. And then when Andre just basically snatched her out of the water like she was just a stick, she was so little, and he put her in there. That was amazing. That whole scene was very emotional for me. I felt my heart tugged for her, because I felt like she was, lost. We didn't have a clue what was going to happen to her because I hadn't seen the movie. So, and then when he kept saying it finally mentioned that there was a ship behind him that had been following him, that's when I said, oh, it's got to be him. She thinks he's dead, but he's not. So that was exciting, but she still didn't know. But it made the viewer more relieved a little bit, less freaked out, because now you knew that if you were like me thinking that's him, he's coming to save her, and she doesn't know it yet, so she was still petrified. But that whole thing I loved it. The inside of the ship, the way it looked and everything, I just loved it. I thought it was great. But the fact that they only had 2 people running the boat, I just thought that was a little far-fetched for that one part, because those ships back then were really hard to get the masts up, get do all the different things, steer it, get the rudder to work, all that stuff for just 2 people, because he wasn't doing anything. Boss.
The good guys always win, even in the 80s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was. I laughed a lot during.
I did laugh a lot in that movie. I will say, this movie here I'm watching. I'm fatigued, but I'm watching this film, and I'm just like, I'm hearing people talk, and the cast just go through their lines and all the scenes, and I'm trying not to laugh because I've got 2 other people with me in the room, and we're just having a ball watching it. It's almost the perfect movie, if there is a perfect movie. This movie is easily within my top 10, and I've got to say that this is one of probably the greatest films I think you could have in physical media. It's one of those movies that you will definitely want to show your progeny, the people that you love, the people that mean something to you. This is the movie that you do that with. And this is a film that you would even go as far, and you enjoy this movie with strangers too, because
this is a movie I would pull out at a sleepover. Like I've had many birthday parties, and all the girls, are all sleeping bags and stuff in the living room, and I would put this movie on for them, and then I would pop popcorn and make sure they have drinks, and we'd all sit down and watch a movie. This is to get them to go to sleep afterward. But this is a movie I think all the kids would love.
It'd be perfect for that. And
I just went, oh, my little heart was just going, oh, how cute, when I saw him sitting in bed, and I saw that was Fred Savage, and he was just a tiny kid. I was shocked, because you don't realize how much these people have grown up until you go back and get to watch one of these movies, and you get to see how young they were. It was wonderful to see him as a little boy, because I had a different view of him, because I had only seen him as an adult in all the other things I'd ever seen him in. So he was just adorable. Just like when we saw the other movie, The Explorers, how cute the boys were when they were little. It's nice. It's like it takes you back. It's almost like opening a time capsule and getting to see what they used to be and where they started, that type of thing. I just love that. I love the nostalgia of that.
All right. This is for Nathaniel Devers, 9452. And he says, I bought tickets to this film in the orchestra for Valentine's with my girlfriend, and then she broke up with me. What should I do? Well,
know your fucking worth, dude.
Yeah, first off, keep the tickets. Don't give them away. Don't you dare give these tickets away.
Yeah, find a better girl that's worthy to take her to see this with you.
Janet, what advice do you have for him as a lady?
That's what I would do. I would tell him to find someone else that's worthy
of
holding your arm and walking in with pride to watch this, because then you will both enjoy it.
You gotta find your princess. There's hundreds of castles that Mario went into, and his princess was in another castle. Okay, bud?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm in the middle of my own situation right now, and I'm tired of talking about it, but I'm going to tell you that you got to recognize your piece, and you got to recognize your value for what you bring yourself first, and then recognize that your friends and your family love you for the positive aspects you bring to their life. Mm-hmm. So you need to understand that there's probably somebody out there that would love to be there. They would love to be Princess Buttercup for a day. Mm-hmm. And more than likely, all you've got to do is just be yourself. You're going to find your tribe.
And use this as a litmus test.
Yeah, this movie is a fucking litmus test beyond reproach. There's
sure.
yeah, very few movies that are so high on my scale of like I wait, what's on? What's going on? There's a watch party at the draft house. I'm going to go order tickets right now because if I don't in 5 minutes, it's all sold out. You need to find your own true love, Nathaniel. True love.
Did you look up the story about why they had the priest that was mumbling through everything that way?
Why is the priest that way, Chris?
Yeah.
I honestly can't remember that one.
There, I read part of it, and it said that one of the people, I think it was either the writer or Rob Reiner, who actually had someone like that in their church. So that's why they use a character like that for that part.
That's Reiner.
So I laughed at that, and that's another thing I'm definitely going to do because I bookmarked the pages. Now I went to the Rotten Tomatoes site. It didn't seem as friendly and nice as the IMDb was with the movie and all of the information that they had.
I don't use Rotten Tomatoes. That's not a site that I value.
I wouldn't on this one because to me, if you want to see some really funny and really interesting trivia about the movie, like the one I told you about the waiters when he had the waiter's pants on and that's why he sank like a rock once they started filling up with water, little things like that. It's very interesting. The hard work that a lot of people go through, the PAs, the director, the director's assistant, second crew, the people that do the stand-in jobs, all that stuff. And then you got the stunt crew. There's a lot of people involved. And then you got the animal people. I mean, it's layer after layer of workers that all want to achieve something. And they did it. This is proof that people can work together for the same goal. See what I mean? It's just amazing to me when you get to finally see the work of art afterward. And you might hear little this and that, how like I said that Gary got hit on the head and he split his head open and he ended up having to go to the emergency room for it. But little things like that. But to me, it was worth it. He felt it was worth it because he still went back to work. You know what I mean? So a lot of people loved that they were in this movie, and many people from everything that I've seen, not from the actual actors, but from other people at different cons and stuff, saying that how nice they were and how happy they were to talk about the movie, the different characters, and autograph things for them and stuff. That is right there proves to you that even though all these years later, it still has a special place in their heart. And I could see it the first time I got to watch it. You know what I mean? I could feel it coming from the film because it was so good because they believed in what they were doing. And I love get to watch movies that make me feel that way when I watch it.
Well, this movie has a lot of love. Again, for Nathaniel, Bud, you need to understand that this movie, this is a measuring stick. So actually, if I were you, when I'd be looking for a companion to go see the orchestra play this, I would be using this movie as the carrot and the stick, and I would make sure that they know, like, hey, listen, I'm a real big fan of this movie. Do you like The Princess Bride? Here's my deal. I want to go see this movie. I'd like to go see this orchestra play it. I want to go see it with you. Want to? And if they're no bueno, man,
block,
get out, block, fucking no. If they say something like, "No, I'm watching Megaforce," get them the fuck out of your life, bro. You deserve better. You deserve much better.
Well, you got to remember this too. When you're looking for someone to spend the rest of your life with, okay, they have to have like-minded goals. And if their interests are not anywhere near yours, it's not going to last, because once you can't get out and do things and you have to actually sit in a room with this person day after day, what are you going to talk about? What is going to be your entertainment? How are you going to get along? You know what I mean? So that's important. And if you can't even enjoy going to the opera with someone and enjoy the music, like I would, okay, don't laugh at me, but if somebody bought me tickets to take me to see an opera or hear an opera with Star Trek music in it, I would swoon over them. I mean, to me, that would be so romantic, but not everybody does that. I mean, what I'm saying is there's the right woman's out there for you that's willing to be there for you and enjoy all these things with you that you deserve. Because don't settle when it comes to marrying someone that you're going to raise kids with, or spend day after day after 30 years from now. Are you still going to talk to each other, or are you going to pretend like you don't exist? You see what I mean? You want to be there. And I want him to be able to find that girl. And he will.
Yeah, you will.
Don't settle
your time on people that
settle for less just because you think that's all there is, because there is more.
Do yourself a big favor. If you're making concessions on the first couple dates, first couple times you meet him, if you're making small concessions that you really just don't feel you don't agree with, man, cut bait and run, dude. Just, it's okay. Like, she might be a great person, but it's not your person. You do you. And the thing is that you want somebody that, like, what?
You should both have your own friends. And if your new girl says, I don't want you to hang out with your friends anymore, then run from them. Because what attracted you to someone in the first place? The fact that, they like this, that, or the other, that's great. But if they don't fill any other gap, that's the only thing, then that's probably not a good match.
No, I would say if they don't like Princess Bride, they're out.
Well, I'm just saying, if they don't like everything, that's okay, because nobody is the same carbon copy of each other. But a person that can enjoy things with you, sitting by you, and you can laugh together and cheer together, that's even a bigger plus in a relationship.
Chris, would I be remiss with saying this is probably one of your top 5 movies?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Which in there I couldn't tell you, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is in my top 10 easily. I don't think it's my top 5, but I think it's kind of funny because, like, between 82 and 87, that's the span of my, like, top 5. This is a good movie. Janet, you gave it a positive, like, glowing rating.
Yeah, I gave it the same rating I would give Tombstone, and my favorite movie of all time. And I was not going to pass that one, which is The Great Raid, because I'm a military brat. I just love that movie. I love it. I've seen it 60 times, but I just love the movie. And this one, honestly, though, is up there, I would say, with my feelings for Labyrinth, Legend, all those movies. It's in the top. It's rated the same rating. I've given it that because it hits everything. There's no reason not to give it a 10. To me, it hits every single thing you need to have a wonderful movie, a great entertainment, and leave with a smile on your face and going, yeah, we kicked some ass. You leave happy and energized. And that's what movies are supposed to do for you, I think, for me.
There's the ISBN number right there.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what you want to look for. It's called asyouwishbook.com for Carrie Hughes, the Inconceivable Tales, the Making of the Princess Bride. There's a lot that's in this book.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you guys enjoyed this movie, check it out. Janet, you know what we're watching next week?
I don't remember.
It's okay. I want to take his face off.
No, sorry.
Nicolas Cage and
Face
John
Off.
Travolta. Yes.
That movie? Okay, great. That's a good
Yeah.
one. That's a good
It's a 1987 movie, 10 years after Princess Bride. And look forward to seeing that with you. And if there's any, if you guys have any questions, comments, if you want to put anything, movie requests, put them in the comments or message me or Janet on our respective Discords.
I want to say one thing too.
Oh, God, what do we have here? Hold on, Janet. Hold on. I have. All right. So right now, this is shit.
Oh, smooth.
Hey,
yeah, tickets.
This is tickets for Gary Hughes tickets. And if you can see this, January 24th in Monterey, California, Golden State Theater. Limited seats are available. Sunday the 25th, Princess Bride with Gary Hughes. February 6th, Princess Bride, an Inconceivable Alien with Gary Hughes, rescheduled from November 11th, 25. Friday, February 20th, Gary Hughes rescheduled from 10/4. He must have been sick in November. So if you go to ticketcentral.com, it looks like, there are times where you can find Gary Hughes in various places. The Princess Bride with Gary Hughes. He's going around showcasing this movie. His book mainly, but this movie and his love for Carl and Rob Reiner and that family, and as they deal with tragedy. Because this, like I said, today's show would not have happened if Nick would have been a good boy. But I want you guys to understand that this is a website. Go ahead.
I'll put it in Janet's comments.
Yeah, put it in Janet's comments, and I'll bring this back.
Well, I just want to tell everyone to please put their family in your prayers, because it doesn't matter whether you agree with their family or not when it came to politics and stuff. That should have nothing to do with whether or not you care if someone's alive or has a big tragic loss like this. It's a terrible, sad thing that happened to his family, and there's a lot of people that are going to be affected because of it for the long run here. And hopefully it'll bring attention to mental health crisis that we have in our country right now, and more people will help other people. Listen to your friends if they need someone to talk to, things like that. We need to start doing more for each other to be there, because it doesn't cost anything to listen to someone.
Well,
but what I wanted to say was every week at around 12:30, we watch a movie that we're going to review, and we invite you to come if you want to come and sit in Discord and just watch the movie with us, especially if it's a movie that you think you want to see, or you've seen it many, many times and you just want to sit. And then we have a short discussion afterward before we go live. So if you would like to watch the movie with us, send me a message on X, or if you're already on Discord, that's great. Send me a message on there. I'm also on Instagram and TikTok, and a few other things in Rumble. So just send me a message and I'll be happy to send you an invite so you could come and watch a movie with us. It's fun. I look forward to it every week.
Typically, I don't have my my microphone on. The movie I wanted my microphone on, and I didn't do it. I should have been on broadcasting with Megaforce, because that movie was just so fucking ridiculous. I love it.
I'm so glad I didn't have my microphone on for you, that when we watched that movie about the sheep, the black sheep.
Oh, Black Sheep is a great movie.
I know, but I had a gasp, and I was like, "Oh my God, what is happening?" And I got a little kid.
Black Sheep is such a good movie. You guys, if you've not seen Black Sheep yet, it's a 2006 movie out of Weta Workshop. The same people that did special effects for Lord of the Rings made their own sheep horror film.
It was good. It was a good movie, but don't watch it with children.
No, don't watch it with kids. But that movie. It
wouldn't let me drop it in YouTube chat.
Okay.
Send it to your Discord.
Yes.
Send it to me in Discord. I'll share it.
I sent it to Bruce. He's on it.
Oh, okay. That's good. Thank you.
Okay. So, all right. Copy link. Hold on. Loading this up. And come on, come back. Here we go. Yeah, the good guys always win, even in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to see a movie with Carrie Hughes, ticketcenter.com, search keywords Carrie and Hughes. There you go. Just click that link right there. You can go see a movie with Carrie, and he talks about his book and all the various things that happen on set. And you can have a great time. And I want you to have a great time.
When he does these little things, does he have a area like a VIP ticket you can purchase and get to meet him in person?
I'm assuming he has a VIP ticket.
So
here.
that's what we did.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
At least at the time, I haven't dug into this if he's doing the same thing, but it's basically you watch the movie with him, and it's a whole bunch of people in the stands, but you can submit questions, and sometimes your questions will get answered. For the one that we did, we got each a book that was signed and a picture with him.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
I would definitely recommend this that experience if you like this movie at all. This is something you probably would enjoy. Next week,
the movie with Denzel Washington.
I can't remember. I think he was. Next week we watched the film by John Woo. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I said Face Off.
Yeah, Face Off next week with directed by John Woo, starring John Travolta and Nick Cage. The best, probably my favorite of the Nick Cage trilogy of greatness.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I've stated about everything I wanted to talk about with this movie. Do you have anything else you want to add there, Chris? Being that this movie is like one of your absolute, like, I'm going to watch this because I just caught it. It's on.
I highly recommend getting that book.
It's changed. It changes your perspective a bit, or just adds a lot of context.
Adds context. Adds more to it.
Okay.
Like I said with the Manny Patinkin.
Yeah, Manny Patinkin.
Like the motivation he had for doing as well as he did in that movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that definitely would. That could be completely understandable after hearing the situation that happened to him at the age 15 or 18, watching your dad die up until that point, watching him wither away, and then as a 34-year-old man.
He was 34 when he made the movie?
Yeah.
Wow, he looked really good. Because he looked very young. I thought he was like in his 20s.
Well, I mean, it's Mandy, so he didn't really age very much until he hit like 50, 55.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I held my age until my mid-40s. So I was pretty all right, I guess. But I was skinny until my mid-40s. Yeah, we're going to be watching that movie next week. I got a whole bunch of trivia about it. Big John Woo fan. For those of you that like the movies that John Woo did before he made his American arrival with Hard Target, we are going to watch The Killer and Hard Boiled one of these days, along with A Better Tomorrow 1 and 2.
I haven't seen those.
That you wouldn't.
Glory.
What?
They worked together in Glory.
Glory was, yeah. Carrie Hughes and Denzel Washington were in Glory together.
I haven't seen that one either.
You've never seen Glory?
Yeah,
No.
bloody.
That's probably the bloodiest Civil War movie I've seen.
But I love Denzel. I love his movies.
You'll like this.
Yeah, I think older Denzel doesn't hit for me as hard and solid. Like the last movie he did that I really liked was Flight.
No.
And yeah,
I Flight was good. I like that, but the first
Equalizer
I did like.
I love the one where he was blind and he was carrying the
Book of Eli.
Yeah, I love that movie. Oh, so good.
That's a good film. It's not near my favorites, but it's not just Denzel that makes that movie.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's so good.
You've got Gary Oldman and you've got Mila Kunis actually acting in the project, and that's really rare for her because she doesn't really act. I mean, her character Meg on Family Guy is basically her.
Yeah. Oh, damn, that's a good picture. Wow, you guys are so lucky. I bet it was
watch represent.
bet that was a
Yeah.
great
For
day.
those of you San Antonians here, there's a KW Games emblazoned on their hoodies,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're familiar with KW, then you know gaming store goodness, because that, to my knowledge, is one of the few stores in the world that's won the Gamma Trade plaque. Gamma is the the gaming association manufacturers. It's the best of the best retail award you get, and that store's got a plaque from 2019. It's still good enough, so good that they have designers come to run beta tests of their board games and RPGs. That is how fucking good Night Watch Games is. So if you come to San Antonio, yeah, you get a good barbecue. If you want Tex-Mex, go to Rita's on a river walk, or find some nana to make you a barbacoa taco. But let me tell you what you really want to do if you're in the circles me and Janet are in. Go to Night Watch Games. Visit Pork and Brenda. Go to the store next door to that, the Sanctuary. Look at their
puppies.
See the clothing, and see if you like what they have. They have really good clothing. Some of it's made in Germany, some of it's made here. But see the pups, see Ranger, see Rogue, the two fluffiest little huskies that we've got in town.
Well, if you get to go to New Orleans, try to stop in at it's called Crescent City Comics.
Crescent City Comics, good place.
Yeah. Yes, freaking awesome. Because remember, one of our friends used to go there too. And if I'd known he lived there, I would have already met him.
Okay.
We just passed each other a lot before he passed.
Yeah, I miss Clobby. You know, the one time I had an opportunity to do something with Clobby, I thought he was going to be there next week. And
2 more weeks, and I was going to be on his show.
No, the week before he died, before he fell, we did the Flash Gordon cartoon, The Greatest Adventure Ever Told, the 1984 NBC animated show.
Yeah, he said I was so pretty. Oh, he was so sweet. I miss him so much. He was
I miss Clobby. You know, the good thing is that if you guys like Clobby, there's a group of men that have taken up the mantle, and they run his comic shop every Saturday night on YouTube. Look up Nick Weiser, the 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser, and you are going to find happiness if you are a comic geek.
And if you love Star Trek.
Yeah, you love Star Trek.
Original Star Trek.
A lot of us do. A lot of us love good Trek.
That's why I hung out with Clobby.
I hung out with Clobby for a lot of reasons. I mainly just thought he was a gentleman and a scholar.
He was a gentleman. He was such a nice person.
Hawkman, dive. Yeah, we watched the 1981 Flash Gordon, didn't we, Janet?
Yeah, remember I wore the black wig and the flower in my hair and the outfit and stuff, because she was supposed to be a feminist, but she was a wussy as a feminist. Remember that comment?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
I like Dale Arden. I just like Princess Ardala a lot more.
Go Flash, go Flash, go.
Well, the thing is, a lot of feminists are they're really just upset heterosexual women that need a factory reset, and once they get that, they're happy.
I don't know. I don't understand them at all. I mean, I've had conversations with a few, and I'm like, I leave more bewildered than I went in. So I was like, okay. I'm not saying I'm the smartest person on the planet either. I don't think I'm that smart at all. But
we're okay.
I don't understand it.
Anyway, for those of you that want to know more, Janet's got a channel, Janet from Another Planet 2 on YouTube. And you can check her out on the Twitters. And she does a show every Friday night talking about politics. Sorry I wasn't there this last Friday night. Been kind of getting some things rearranged here.
That's okay.
And, she also does a show Thursday night. What's that show called?
Well, I either do Team Shit Show 2.0 or I do After Hours, depending on what it is that I'm talking about.
Fair enough. For our friend Sven Vilka, you said you had a life, unlike us losers who saw it. Just kidding. Listen, 1987 She was a young lady, I believe that, Janet, correct me if I'm wrong. There was a couple of young ones, right? Busy
Yeah,
Mom.
I had two really close together.
Yeah.
But right out of high school, I started popping them out.
Yeah,
So
you weren't like all the high school girls I knew that were like married before the graduation day and belly
I,
button
I
pregnant.
only knew him for 3 months before we eloped. So
Yeah, that's
I
not
didn't
bad.
give
My
myself
parents knew.
I didn't give myself much time. But that's what happens sometimes. That's why I
Janet,
said you either know or you don't.
listen, my mom and dad met on New Year's Eve. They were married in April.
Mm.
So that's kind of how that worked.
Well, I was still a teenager, so oh well.
Thank you, everybody, for showing up for yesterday's game. If you showed up to yesterday's game stream, for those of you that showed up for today's show, I appreciate it. Next week, if you want to see us rip into a movie and dissect it and talk about what we love and what we don't, we will be discussing the John Woo classic film Face Off. And that should start roughly 3 p.m. Central Standard Time for you military brats, 1500. Want to lead us out, Janet?
Well, I just want to say thank you to everyone who hung out with us. And just look for us on X or on Rumble. And you can find me on Rumble, but it's Janet's Universe, not Janet from Another Planet, because I forgot my password. So I couldn't get back in. But